Hi, everybody. It's Peter Schiff, and this is my son, Spencer. Say hi, Spencer.
Hi.
And it is July 25th, 2010, and Spencer and I are here to give the results for the last 2 days of phone banking. Now, the winner on Friday is, who's Friday's winner?
Daniel from Connecticut.
How many calls did he make?
737.
Fantastic, Daniel. 737 calls. Now, on Friday, we had a total of 75 people making calls. We did 3,870 calls on the day, so it was a total of 50 calls per person. And Daniel, though, made the most, so he wins a free autographed copy of How an Economy Grows and Why It Crashes. Now, yesterday, on Saturday, we had a total of 7,794 calls made by 97 callers, an average of 80 calls per person. Pretty good average, not quite 100 people. And who is the winner for Saturday, Spencer?
Chris Stone from Florida.
And how many calls did Chris make?
720.
Way to go, Chris. 720 calls, and he wins a free autographed copy of How an Economy Grows and Why It Crashes. And, of course, we now have a weekly winner. This will be the third weekly winner, but the second full week where we've had a full 7 days in a week. And Spencer, do you want to announce the weekly winner?
Chris Ruthie from Nebraska.
Right, and how many calls did he make?
1,547.
Fantastic. 1,547 calls by Chris in a week. And we've been doing the phone banking now for 16 days. And we made a total of 81,839 calls. That's 5,115 calls per day. Now, I know these calls are making a difference because a lot of people are telling us that they're getting these calls. The only thing I think that's still disappointing is that enough people aren't doing it. If you imagine all of the people who are going to watch this video that we're doing today and how few of them are actually taking the time to make calls. It's not hard. It doesn't take a lot of time. An hour, just an hour, you can do 50 calls. I mean, just imagine, we're not even averaging 100 people a day, and we're making 5,000 calls a day. What if we had 1,000 people doing this? We'd be making 50,000 calls a day. It's not hard. I would win this race. In fact, I'm confident I would win this race if enough people took the time to make these calls. Just an hour out of your day. I mean, imagine if more people did what Chris Ruthie did and made 1,500 calls a week. Can you imagine? If 100 people were doing that, that's 150,000 calls. If 1,000 people were doing that, that's 1.5 million calls. I mean, we would call every single Republican voter several times. There wouldn't be a single Republican who didn't know I was running. And based on the results that we have so far from the polls, when Republicans know about me, overwhelmingly, they support me. So if you're having any troubles, call the campaign headquarters at 203-874-6880. That's 203-874-6880. They will explain it to you if you're having problems. But it's really self-explanatory. If you go to shiftforsenate.com and just click on the telephone, the Liberty Bell, you go right to the page. It explains how to do it. It's free. It costs you absolutely nothing. So the cost of freedom, the cost of taking back your country, the cost of putting me in the United States Senate is an hour a day of your time. That's it. And you know what? There's not much time left. We only have, after this, there's 2 more weekends of phone banking before the August 10th primary. So if you don't do it now, there's no time to do it. And if I don't win this primary and you didn't make calls, well, then you've got nobody but yourself to blame. But anyway, if you don't do it for me, do it for my son, Spencer. Spencer, do you have anything you want to say to the people watching?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Don't you want to ask him to make some phone calls?
Please make phone calls for my dad.
Right, because how old are you?
7.
Are you old enough to make the calls?
No.
If you were old enough, would you make them?
Yes.
So what do you want people to make them for you, right?
Yes.
Because you're too young?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, should we try? You want to try to make the calls?
No.
You don't want to try?
No.
But they've got to try, okay? Because it's his country too. He's going to inherit this country. We owe it to Spencer and everybody else to do something to prevent this disaster and take this country back. Anyway, good luck this Sunday and make these calls. Say goodbye, Spence.
Bye.
Bye-bye.